Yeah.
So, well, we'll get this meeting started if everybody's ready. Are you ready, Sam?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You ready, Winston? You good to go?
I'm good.
Okay. So I'll call this meeting to order of the Kentucky Housing Corporation Board of Directors meeting. And Sam, can you give me a confirmation that we have a quorum?
Yes, we have a quorum and the press has been notified.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So I think everybody's had a chance to look over the minutes. So I would consider a motion that we.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. We have a motion by Bruce. Do we have a second? Okay. Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Okay. So Terry Helton, you want to talk about the inducement agreement for Chenoweth Woods?
Yes, thank you all. The Chenoweth Woods apartment project is requesting bonding authority in an amount not to exceed $11,500,000. This project involves the rehab of 99 one-bedroom units and 1 3-bedroom unit located at 14005 Old Station Road in Louisville. This project will serve elderly households at or below 60% AMI. Your development team is on the screen and in your packet. Just a little bit about the Chenoweth Woods apartments. This is a picture of the outside of the unit. It is a garden style townhomes type units. We had some other slides. There we go. The project was built in 1982, and again with 99 one-bedroom units, 1 3-bedroom units, and again they are a 2-story garden style townhouse with property. They will serve the elderly who are 62 or older at or below 60% AMI. This particular project does have a HAP contract on 99 of the 100 units. Something interesting to note is this particular project was awarded a $750,000 grant from HUD in the first wave of the Inflation Reduction Act. There are 3 categories within the Green Resilient Energy Efficiency Program. It's called the Green Retrofit Program, and there are elements, leading edge, and comprehensive. Fairset Affordable, who is the developer for this particular project, was awarded the grant under the Element Award category, which provides funding for property owners to include climate resilient and energy and water efficiency improvements. So upgrades under this element category could support a range of improvements such as the installation of heat wave resilient cool roofs, fire resistant roofs, on-site solar power systems, energy efficient windows, and similar upgrades. These are some of the project amenities that the developer has pledged for this particular one to upgrade, and that would be their laundry room, the stove, refrigerators, an alarm security system, help call system, community room, an outdoor common area, on-site parking, on-site maintenance, a resident library, and a business center with computers. KHC staff has reviewed the preliminary submittals of the applicant and recommends approval by the Board of Directors of an inducement resolution authorizing the tax-exempt bond financing for this particular project.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Anybody have any questions of Terry in regard to this project? Terry, let me ask you, this is, since it was first built in 82, this is a redo, it's a refurbish of this.
This is a rehabilitation, yes.
Okay, okay. Anybody else have any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve this.
Second.
Steve will make a motion.
Okay, got a motion and a second.
This is George. I'll second it.
Okay, thank you.
We're stepping all over one another.
All right, we'll get there. All right, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Terry, thank you very much. Very well done.
Thank you.
Okay, Wendy Smith, authorization to enter into a personal service contract.
Yes, good afternoon, Chair Denham and board members. I am coming to you all with a request for you to approve a contract for $105,000 with Bowen National Research. This is in follow-up to the presentation I gave, I believe it was just at the last board meeting, talking about the housing supply gap all across Kentucky, and that we've had just many conversations with partners and localities about this, and that our next step was to procure a analysis that would give us a current baseline and then a 5-year projection of what the housing gap is for different income levels across each county in Kentucky. And so we did a competitive request for proposals with a scoring committee, and we selected Bowen National Research as our preferred vendor for this. We aim to get them started right away. Our hope would be to get the baseline numbers by late January or early February. And then the 5-year projections, which are going to require more research, that'll come in the summer. Anyway, so it is my recommendation and request that the board consider approving this contract for $105,000.
Any members have any questions of Wendy in regard to this project? All right, if not, I'll entertain a motion that we
I'll
approve.
make a motion, Beverly.
Okay, Beverly, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Gail.
Okay, Gail, thank you. So I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Wendy, thank you for your excellent work. We appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Mhm.
Okay, Tracy Thurston, presentation of Kentucky Housing Corporation financial statements.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, members of the board. I'm here today to present our fiscal year 2024 first quarter financial update. We have 5 schedules I'll walk you through. You've seen these before. One thing I want to point out to keep in mind going through these statements is that we closed on our 2023 single family bond issuance on October 5th. So at September 30th, we had a lot of our MRB loans warehouse, which we then purchased with the bond proceeds a few days later. So this is evident in several of these schedules, and it's going to be the case again at the end of December, as we are warehousing loans currently to be purchased with our next single family bond issuance, which we anticipate closing in February. So the statements are getting a little different as we return to the MRB scenario. So we will start with the pro forma statement of net position. I will point you to line D. For the first time in many years, total assets have increased as a result of returning to issuing mortgage revenue bonds as a financing mechanism to fund our loans. Total loans in the old bond indenture continue to shrink as we allow them to pay off, and now we are simultaneously adding loans to the new general indenture. So if you look at line A, you can see that the total program purpose assets has increased by $46 million this first quarter. Going down to line B, cash and investments. This is impacted by the timing of our loan fundings. For instance, the end of June, we had about $15 million in an investment account from settling loans in the secondary market. At the end of September 30, we only had $2.5 million, as we've been using available cash to fund and warehouse loans. Going down to line E, there's a $12 million decrease in debt outstanding for program purpose assets, and that corresponds with the shrinking of the old indenture. Like I said, we didn't close on the new 2023 bond issuance until October 5th, so that's not reflected in these statements yet. Looking at line F, interest payable decreased slightly by $1.2 million. This is the result of paying off some bonds on July 1. Line G is a pretty big increase. We utilize the lines of credit to purchase and warehouse loans in addition to any cash we have on hand. We ended the quarter owing $31.3 million on our lines of credit. Once we paid those, purchased those loans with the bond proceeds, we did pay down those lines of credit. It's kind of a cyclical thing that happens. We watch it every day. I don't know if you recall, Jim may have referred to it as our sawtooth chart. We warehouse a bunch of loans, we sell them, or we sell them into the indenture, and then we pay off any lines of credit we have. Line J, overall liabilities increased by 15 million, which is almost entirely due to the amount owed on the lines of credit at the end of the quarter. Line L, you can see mark to market on the investment portfolio increased by 2.5 million. This was a continued write down of the investment portfolio. This isn't really a concern. We plan to hold our MBSs to maturity, so we won't actually realize that loss. It's more of a paper loss. Line M, overall net position at quarter end improved slightly by $2 million. We like to point out on line N and O, portfolio servicing for others. That portfolio did increase 100 million this quarter. This pretty much represents a slowdown of prepayments and refinancing, which is pretty good to see that growth given the current market, the current mortgage industry. So we're pretty proud of that. We ended the September 30th with a total overall home servicing portfolio of $3 billion. Next slide, Sam.
Tracy, can I stop you there just a second?
Yes, absolutely.
The GASB 31 adjustment with interest rates going down will change probably by December 31st. Will it not?
I'm not sure if it'll change by December 31st, but yeah, as interest rates go down, we will be able to take those losses back and write those investments back up.
It'll be more favorable to us.
Yes,
right?
it will.
Okay, thank you.
Looking at our pro forma income statement for quarter end, we'll start with line A. As our investments have grown, our yield on our investments have increased some by about 1 million since September of 2022. Line B, the interest expense includes interest expense on some variable rate debt we have. That has gone up even though the liability has not. So the overall interest expense increased by about 500,000. Line D, the gain on sale of loans went down from 2.3 million last year to 1.2 million this year. Given the current interest rates, we just haven't had much success in the TBA market, selling loans to secondary. So this is the large reason we start issuing mortgage revenue bonds. We're still profitable, but it's not, it's nothing like it used to be. Line E, fees, charges, grants, and other income. This is fees received from our program areas, and we are at 3.9 million for the first quarter, down from 5.3 million last year at quarter end. This is almost entirely because last year's fees included money from our HHRF eviction prevention program, and that program has tapered off since. So we just don't have those fees, but we also don't have the associated expenses. Line F, as previously mentioned, we have to mark to market our securities. We took a big hit last year. It's not as bad this year. And as I mentioned before, we plan to hold those securities. So no real concern there. Line O, our change in net position, which is our net income for the year, is at 2.3 million, which is a good start for the first quarter. And then we're ending the year with a 452 million in net position. We move on to the next slide. Cash flow pro forma for quarter end. Line A, this is cash flow from operating activities. This decrease from 14.5 million last year to a negative 3.4 this year is driven mostly by the slowdown in our prepayment activity. So last year at this time, we had 73 million in loans that paid off at quarter end. This year, we only had 17 million. So it's not a bad story that we've seen the slowdown in our prepays. It's actually helped to grow our portfolio. Line B is cash flow from non-capital financing activities. This represents us borrowing more and not paying back as fast compared to last year. Most of this is the result of warehousing loans and having borrowed from a line of credit to do so. And then at the bottom lines, H, I, and J, these are all single family metrics. As you can see, we're beating prior year production. This is a result of running simultaneous loan production programs, both MRB and still in the TBA market, selling to the secondary market. Got two more schedules related to our operating budget. The first one is our operating fee income, budget versus actual for quarter end. We'll start with line A. Our rental assistance fee income is approximately $550,000 favorable to budget. This represents a significant boost in our some fair market rents, which is what our fee is based on. So that is a welcome boost. Line D is our weatherization programs. This is unfavorable to budget by about $120,000. Some planned activities for the training center haven't taken place yet. We also budgeted for a new grant that came in under the infrastructure bill, I believe last year, and that hasn't quite ramped up yet. Line E, temporary COVID programs, is $460,000 unfavorable to budget. This is mostly our HOPE program, homeowner assistance program that came in as a COVID program to help homeowners prevent foreclosure. This program is not moving slower than anticipated. There's other resources out there. There's other ways to help borrowers become current. We're under budget in a few areas. We budgeted to pay out outside housing counselors fees to process files, but we've been doing a lot more of that in-house. We also budgeted for additional contractors, but have in turn used some full-time staff instead that had some excess capacity. And then we're under budget in our marketing costs for that program, but there's a plan to ramp that up in the next month or two. We don't have the additional fee income in this program, but we also don't have the associated expenditures that you'll see on the next slide. So it's kind of a zero net issue. Line G, loan servicing fee income. Sorry, Sam. We are $450,000 favorable to budget there. This corresponds with our growing loan portfolio. We spent many years accounting for prepayments, and we have not had as many prepayments, so we've been able to grow that portfolio. So we have additional servicing fee related to that. Like H, rental production, fee income is $550,000 favorable to budget. This particular line item is always difficult to kind of project. It is solely based on when deals close. So it's been a difficult target. So we'll monitor this quarter to quarter. Line I, homeownership, favorable to budget by $115,000. We budgeted to produce about $450 million in mortgage loans this year, but with MRBs going very strong and continuing our conventional business, we're likely going to exceed that. We actually already hit $300 million at the end of November. So we have more fees coming in based on that. At the very bottom, line P, overall, we're $1.2 million favorable to budget for the quarter. So we're pretty happy with that. Next slide. I only have a couple remarks on this. This is our operating expenditures budget versus actual quarter end. You look at line C, contractor temps, line E, business services, and line I, printing and public information. These are where many of the HOPE program related budget expenditures were budgeted that have not been spent. So that mainly is the reason those are under budget. And then line G, foreclosure costs and release fees, $132,000 unfavorable to budget. These were loans that came out of COVID forbearance, potentially resulting in foreclosures and costs associated with that. We've finally been able to work through that pipeline, work through some of the ugly ones. So we anticipate this line item leveling off by year end. And at the very bottom, line P, overall, we are favorable to budget by 1.2%, which is pretty good. And we are moving really quickly to close the second quarter. At the next board meeting in February, we will have our quarter two financials that will reflect the new bond indenture and the Series 2023A issuance. And I plan to spend a little more time highlighting that because it does have an impact on our bottom line. Issuing MRBs has a lot of upfront costs, no immediate cash gains like the TBA program has in the last decade or so. So you will see that reflected more so in the second quarter update than the first. But that is the financial update, and it's just an informational item, but I'm happy to take any questions.
Any members have any questions of Tracy? Tracy, one question I have, publications and memberships. Looks like significantly higher? Is that right? No, that's, I guess it's favorable. How did that happen?
Publications and memberships is unfavorable to budget. Likely we possibly paid our NCSHA annual membership fees in the fall, or we had some additional costs. I don't foresee us being unfavorable for the year. Likely that will level off if the timing of any of those payments. Sometimes we don't get exact right with doing our budget.
Okay, thank you. Tracy, I know you have big shoes to fill, and it looks to me like you're up to the task, so we appreciate your hard work. Any other members have any questions? Sam, do we need a motion on this, or?
No, it's informational only.
Okay, all right. Tracy, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Okay. All right, so report of action of executive committee meeting. Sam, I think you have a page there to talk about.
Yes, can you all hear me? My Zoom seems to have. Can you all?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
I can hear you.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that. So the executive committee of KHC Board of Directors met on Thursday, November 29th, to consider the issuance of new housing revenue bonds to better provide home finance alternatives for borrowers who do not qualify for financing through the corporation's secondary market program. The executive committee approved a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of up to $150 million in mortgage revenue bonds. And Tracy, as Tracy discussed, that is expected to close in February. No further action was taken by the executive.
Do any members have any questions about the executive committee? The information in regard to that? We think that will be an excellent program, and so we're looking forward for that to happen. Okay, Sam, you want to go ahead and talk about the meeting schedule for 2024?
Yes, thank you. So Section 2.6 of the corporation's bylaws state that the regular meetings of the board of directors should be held at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on the last Thursday of February, April, May, August, October, and on the second Thursday of December in Frankfort, unless otherwise designated by the board of directors of the corporation. So KHC recommends approval by the board of directors of a resolution adopting the following schedule of regular meetings for calendar year 2024. All the meetings will begin at 2 p.m. Eastern Time and will occur on the dates that are listed here on your screen.
I'll make that motion, Sam.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Okay, Sam, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, informational items. So, Winston, do you have anything you want to bring before the board today?
I do. Actually, it's not me, but it's Terry Helpton that's going to make a short presentation for us on an update of a project that we approved with board action last year, and that now has been brought to essentially a conclusion. And what we hope to do in the future is to give you all updates on projects as they come to maturity, so that you can see both the front end and the back end of the work that we're doing and that you're doing. So with that introduction, I'll let Terry take it over and give you a report on the Colony Apartments.
Thank you. Yes, the Colony Apartments was a rehab project in Covington, Kentucky. This is probably maybe an apartment complex or a project that you all may be familiar with. It is, not very old. It looks like it was brought to you all. It was actually an application was submitted in December of 2019 through our taxes and bond funding round for 2020. It was a rehab project of 137 senior development in Covington. It serves the elderly. 100% are 62 or older, and they are at or below 60% AMI. They do have a project-based Section 8 HAP contract on 136 of the 137 units, and the developer is Fairstead Affordable. Fairstead Affordable is also the developer is on the Chenoweth Wood apartment project that I presented earlier today. So I wanted you to see kind of some of their finished project, what they do. So here's a little bit of the timeline. So these are some of the dates that you all may be, notice. The original board inducement was in February 27th of 2020. They had their final board resolution in May of 2020. Their construction completion in December 21st of 2021, and they actually had 100% lease up within 2 weeks of that construction completion date. The funding sources that we have in this particular project is $13,500,000 of tax exempt bonds, $770,417 of housing credits, and they had almost $7 million in LIHTC equity from Boston Financial. Some of the key construction items for this particular project, and there were several, but I just wanted to kind of point out to you all just some of the key items. They had to remove and replace the existing roof, provide new roof exhaust fans and controls, upgrade the elevators, reseal all their windows, provide replacement of existing ceiling tiles. Their public restrooms need to be modified to be fully accessible, upgrade the laundry room to provide 12 washers and dryers, replace the existing hardwire detectors with new hardwire combo CO and smoke detectors, and provide anti-scald faucets. This is a picture of the outside of the building. Prior to rehab, this was just all gray. There was no color on it, so they put a little bit of color on it when they did the painting of the outside. This is their common room for the residents. And this mural that is painted in this common room was done by one of their local artists. Her name is Tammy Stevens. And so she came in and did this mural for the residents. This is their laundry room with their brand new washers and dryers for the residents. One of the interior units for an accessible units. This is the kitchen area. And this is one of their accessible units for one of their bathrooms. So just to let you know, Fairstead does a wonderful job with their units and their tenants. They have a tenant meeting prior to doing any type of rehab. They will talk to the tenants about, if you had a magic wand, what are some of the things that you would like to see, would you like to have? A lot of them are just looking for a specific paint color, or they may want a walking path or a little dog park or a community garden center. So those are some of the things that they do try to put in the, the project for their, residents. So if you ever have a chance to go to one of the ribbon cuttings, I really encourage you to go and see the work that they do.
Terry, thank you very, very much. I don't know if any of the board members have questions or comments about this project or any of the other projects that you're involved in.
I'd be happy to answer.
Winston, just let me make a comment. I'm aware of this building. I've driven by it a couple of times, and it's made a real difference in that area where it is. And if people haven't been to Covington lately, Joey Myers and others have Covington on the move. So they really have done a yeoman's job in cleaning Covington up. So thank you, Tracy, for being a part of that.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to try to give you more updates. I won't promise that we'll give you an update at every meeting, but we'll try to provide updates from time to time on these projects and updates on some of our other program activities. We had hoped to have a presentation this month on some of the homeless activities that we have that we finance and support here, and scheduling that didn't work out, but that'll probably be a presentation that you'll see come February. So more to come on these sorts of things, and And Mike, before I relinquish the floor, let me just, on behalf of all of the team here at Kentucky Energy Corporation, let me thank the board members for what you all do for us each year, and we appreciate your support, and without you, we couldn't be doing what we're doing. And so thank you, and I want to wish everybody a very happy holidays and a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. You as
Thank you
well.
so much.
Thank you, Winston.
Thank you.
Winston, on behalf of the board, would you let the employees know how much we appreciate them and wish them a happy holiday season on our behalf? And want to wish all the board members also a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. So
We'll do that.
We appreciate the hard work and the effort you all do. So
we do that. We'll do that, and we'll certainly pass that along to all the staff and all our employees promptly.
Okay, thank you. So, Winston, do you or Sam have any other items that you want to talk about today?
I don't think so. Sam?
Do not.
Okay. Any board members or any other staff have anything they want to bring up today? Okay, well, if not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, like sign. We are adjourned, and thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope all of you have a wonderful Christmas and New Year.
You as
Thank you.
well. Thank
You
you.
Same to
too.
you.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Merry
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.